guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. And today we are going to be doing a Bible study. I'm so excited about this. I've been wanting to do this for the past I think 3 weeks now, and we're finally here. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Quick disclaimer though, okay? Sorry if you heard that. There's fireworks outside. Happy 4th of July. But quick disclaimer, I'm a very much beginner when it comes to reading the Bible, studying the Bible. So I'm not going to be that person that's going to tell you what the Bible is saying word for word. I'm just going to be reading it with you and basing it off of my life and my experiences. And I know that there's a lot of people that's out there that can relate to that. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we are going to be focusing on 1 Samuel chapter 3, and a little bit of backstory if you don't know everything about Samuel or anything really about Samuel. Samuel was born to a woman named Hannah. Now, in today's terms, Hannah was a sister wife. It is what it is. They used to have multiple wives back in the day, especially in biblical times. There have been several people that have had them, so she was one of them. And I believe the guy's name was Elkanah. I believe that's his name. But he also had a wife. I don't know how to pronounce her name, so we're just gonna call her Penny, okay? So Penny was a sister wife to Hannah, and she was the one that had all the kids. She was the one that was able to conceive, give her husband the kids. And because Hannah was not allowed, but she wasn't able to conceive, Penny was always rubbing it in her face, like, girl, I'm over here, I'm able to, give my husband the kids, and we have our family, and you're just here, basically. This kept going on, and it was making her, Hannah, it was making her so upset to the point where one day she went over to the temple and was pleading to God and praying to God, and was just like, please just give me a son. Please, please, please just give me a son. So much so that while she was there, because she wasn't verbally saying anything out loud, she was moving her lips, the priest Eli thought that she was drunk, and he was just like, yo, you gotta go. Okay, this is not gonna work. You cannot be coming over here drunk and acting like this. Like, are you a Wiccan? What's going on? You have to get out. And she explains the situation like, no, I'm just pleading to God, asking him for a son. And he goes, okay, I understand. So in doing that, she said, God, if you please give me a son, I will dedicate his life to you, right? So in turn, she was able to have a son. She named him Samuel. And as her what's the word what's the word that I'm looking for? Her being loyal, okay? Her being loyal to God and saying, yes, since you were loyal to me, I'm going to go ahead and give you a son. In turn, because you did go ahead and do that, I'm going to dedicate my son's life to you. In doing that, he ended up going to the priest Eli. Now, the priest Eli, he had 2 sons specifically. I don't know if he had more, but he had 2 sons specifically that they did go ahead and mention in the Bible. And these guys were evil. Like, they were so wicked. They were described in the Bible as wicked, and they were described as disrespectful to God, inappropriate with women, terrorizing the whole town, city, wherever. Anything that you could think of that's evil, that was his sons, okay? So as Samuel ended up getting older, now to chapter 3, one night, Samuel heard a voice and was just like, Samuel, like calling out to him. So he gets up and he goes to Eli, because it's time for bed. He goes to Eli. He was just like, yes, you called me. And Eli's like, no, I'm in bed. Like, what you talking about? Like, go to sleep. I'm trying to get some sleep. Well, because Eli was already at the point, he's old now. So he's pretty much blind. He he needed help. So that's why he had Samuel there. So he was just like, yo, like, I'm here. Do you need something? And he goes, no, I'm trying to go to sleep. Go back to bed. This happens 2 more times. And on the 3rd time, Samuel was just like, no, I'm sorry. Eli says, I understand what's going on. The next time you hear this voice, say, yes, Lord, your servant is listening. Okay? The voice that he didn't know that he was hearing, that he thought was coming from Eli, was actually coming from God, right? And it's just like, wow, that's crazy, right? To be able to hear God's voice, you know? Because how many of us can actually say that we've heard God's voice? So that night, after he responded to God and said, yes, Lord, your servant is listening, he ended up speaking to him and was just like, listen, because of all the wicked that Samuel's sons, I'm so sorry, that Eli's sons have been doing, I promised Eli that he was going to have a wrath come down on his family because of all of this stuff. And that time is now, like, it's getting ready to happen. And I need you to go tell him and prep him and let him know that this is about to happen. What I promised him is about to happen. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, right? I don't know if you're gonna get mad at me. I don't know how you're gonna take it. Like, I don't want to be the messenger that has to be like, yo, you weren't being obedient, so prepare for God's wrath, right? So the next morning, Eli asked Samuel, what is it that God said? And do not lie to me, because if you lie to me, may you be struck down. And I believe he said killed. I believe he said killed also. And then Samuel was like, okay, well, I don't want that to happen to me. So this is what God said. And he told him, yo, your wrath is coming. Your time is coming. It's time for not even just you, but your entire family, like your boys, your family. And how many people would actually be like, okay, you know, like, yeah, I know something evil is coming, or, you know, God's plan for my life is coming, and I'm not gonna like it so much, but I'm okay with it. How many people can actually say that? Well, Eli said that. He goes, okay, if it's God's will, let it be done, basically. And I just thought about, because I'm a mom, what would happen if, you know, like, my daughter were to be like, Mom, I did something I wasn't supposed to do. Or if it was just like, I was promised a position at work and then my boss had to tell me, hey, you're not going to get that position. We're going to give it to somebody else. Even though we promised it to you, we're going to give it to somebody else. Or, you know, just something bad. And then you're just okay with it. Like, oh, it's okay. You don't have to promote me this month. Oh, it's okay. That you spilled the red wine all over my carpet. It's okay. No, people nowadays, as humans, we're going to get very upset about it. But he was just like, if it's God's will, then it's God's will. And just as a mom and as an adult, how many times have I had to actually have a conversation with somebody that I didn't want to have a conversation with, that I wasn't fully comfortable having the conversation with because of the situation or whatever, and that person actually being okay with it. And it was just kind of like putting it into perspective of today's times, and being like, I know that I shouldn't be doing this, or I know that I don't want this to happen to so and so, but it has to happen, and just being okay with it instead of being like yelling and pointing the blame at somebody else or whatever, just relating to it, especially because I do have a daughter, and I know that for parents, especially when it comes to their kids, you never want to be that person to where it's just like you have to tell your kid something that they don't want to hear, or you don't want to have to tell a parent something that they don't want to hear. It's just like being a doctor, like a doctor being somebody that has to be the person that has to give you the bad news for a family member, for yourself, for a diagnosis or whatever it is. It's hard, but to be able to say it's okay, it's God's will, takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of self-control, takes a lot of trusting God, really, and just being okay with that. So anything that you're going through in your life, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, it's going to be uncomfortable, but as long as you have God in your life, everything is going to work out the way that it's supposed to. So even though we're scared, even though it sucks because we are human, if it's God's will, it's just God's will, and we have to accept that. So I just want to let you guys know today, because I do know that I've been doing a lot of motivational stuff and just trying to keep everybody, including myself, encouraged, that no matter what news you get, everything's going to work out the way that it's supposed to, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Even if we can't physically see it at that time, things always turn out for the better. So just stay encouraged, that everything is going to be okay, and you're not alone. You always have people that you can go to. You always have, family, friends, your YouTube family, because that's what you guys are for me, and as I am for other YouTubers and everything like that. So your YouTube family or whoever it is. But I just want to come on here and let you know that no matter what's going on, it's all going to be okay. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you guys all have a great, or have had a great 4th of July. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope you enjoyed our little Bible study. This one is different. I know that there's people that actually read the chapter or a section, so we didn't do that today, but if you guys would like for me to do that, I would be more than happy to do that with you guys, and then kind of just give my perspective on how I felt that the passage was speaking to me. So I'll be more than happy to do that with you guys. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and just remember, above all else, God loves you, so you're covered, right? And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.